Hello. Have a nice day. This is the Attitude Era podcast, the one and only. And I came here to talk about the three faces of Foley, but I'm not alone. I brought some friends with me. Dude Love.
Where's my microphone? That right there is a man that is con. I'm just a con man, ladies and gentlemen. Where the ladies at, man, con? Why we just here with just you? This is ruining the mood. When I used to come out, it was the likes of China, Trish Stratus. Now it's just mankind. But it's three faces to Mick Foley, not two. And the last face is probably the most dangerous one.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the Attitude Era podcast, I present to you none other than, you can see mankind is shaking because he knows what's about to happen. Cactus Jack.
Oh, no.
The dude that loves, the man that is kind, usually in this sick, demented, twisted place that I call a home. I usually have thoughts of twisted annihilation going on, but today I'm here for a conversation. But it's only because you called me out, dude, and I'm here. Attitude Era podcast. Thank you for having me. Bang bang.
Relax. So excited. Let the dude get in his groove. I'm just here for the ladies. Cactus, stop acting crazy.
Mankind has seen some sick things, but Cactus Jack, you may be the sickest, most craziest, demented thing that mankind has ever seen.
Mankind, don't you ever just want to just shut up sometimes?
Mankind, shut up.
We can go right now. We can go right now.
No.
We can go right now.
The dude is just trying to get in his groove. Cactus and Mankind, both of y'all out your damn mind.
You think I give a damn about a sock?
Sit down. Relax.
Okay.
We came here for a podcast.
It's Mr.
Relax.
Socko. It's not just a sock.
And cut. Attitude Era podcast.
Attitude
Three
Era
faces of Mick Foley.
Is you ready to ride? Right now, can you feel it? Let's go, undefeated. Turn up and repeat it. Over and over and over and over again. Right now, can you feel it? Let's go, undefeated. Turn up and repeat it. Over and over and over and over again.
Y'all already know what's going on. Attitude Era podcast. We are officially back. This is episode 7. Y'all seen the creative introduction. We had to do that for a legend. In my opinion, one of the Mount Rushmores in wrestling entertainment.
Absolutely.
Mick Foley. You know
Big
what I mean?
L.I.
Yeah, big
Big
Long Island.
L.I.
That's big. Mick
Big
Foley, if
L.I.
you watching this.
Mick Foley, we love you,
He's
baby.
from Long Island,
That's
so
a fact.
this means the world to him. You know what I mean? Shout out to Mick Foley. I feel very underrated wrestler. One of the big reasons why the Attitude Era propelled, risk taker, very dangerous, very experimental, and it worked. You know what I mean? In this episode today, we will highlight for the people that don't know, a lot of things Mick Foley has to do with are the first.
Yep.
The first. We'll get into all of that in a second.
Innovative.
Innovative, but one of the main things he was innovative about was in the 90s, you know what I mean? We seen it been done now, even myself. So shout out to Mick Foley, because in my battle rap career, I'm sure he doesn't know, but I've had alter egos, DNA, the PG Killer, the Champ, and the first thing that came to mind when I even started doing any of this was Mick Foley. I remember the classic Titantron with Hunter Hearst Helmsley, because Cactus Jack was the first character on screen for Mick Foley. Dude Love, who I'm dressed up as, was the first character that he ever created when he did his home tapes. But Cactus Jack was the last one to appear in WWF because Vince McMahon actually didn't like the character. So the character stemmed from WCW. But the most
And ECW.
Huh?
And ECW.
And ECW. WCW first. He had a feud with
Yes,
Vader.
yes, yes,
Then he
absolutely.
went to ECW. And Pro Japan Wrestling.
Where him
That's
and
how he
Terry
lost his
Funk.
ear.
Yeah. So
IW, him
with
and
that
Terry
being
Funk.
said,
IWA.
with that being said, the infamous Titantron was when Hunter Hearst Helmsley at the time with China. This is around the time D-Generation X was just forming. This is one of the most creative things I seen as a kid. In 1997, I was 6. So Dude Love's music plays. Dude Love comes on the screen. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, I see fine China. But Hunter Hearst Helmsley, we're at Madison Square Garden. You can't face somebody of the likes of me. And then you see Mankind come out second. And at that time, I'm like, these are two different people. How are they here at the same time? You know, the green screen thing doesn't register to a 6-year-old. At my mind, I'm like, magic is happening. He has a twin. And then Mankind says, well, you're not going to be facing me. It's somebody that's iconic and infamous for being at Madison Square Garden. And Cactus Jack appears. Now, no one has, this is the ill thing about wrestling. Nobody has ever seen Cactus, like a lot of people in WWF, they just heard about it in WCW. But the eruption that Cactus Jack gets when he comes out with the bang bang and that music is like, everybody's been seeing him the whole time.
It's a testament to his hard work, really, because he was nervous about that. He wasn't sure if he was going to get the reception that Cactus Jack deserved, and it got that plus some. And it also helped elevate Triple H's whole career at the time, which is something that we'll get into as a trend. Mick Foley has a tendency of elevating his opponent's career and giving them a new attitude and look to use in their career.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, every character of Mick Foley's that had a debut match in WWF won.
Yeah.
Mankind won his first match?
Yeah.
Against who?
If I'm not mistaken, didn't he have a build towards Undertaker?
Yeah, he beat
Undertaker. Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't even expect to win that one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, you know, while we're getting into it, Mick Foley going from Cactus Jack to WWE because he left WCW, which was a risky move. He didn't even really like Mankind. He didn't like the Mankind character.
He was supposed to be somebody called the Mutilator at first.
Yeah, that's
He didn't actually know the name was Mankind until like his first match. There was a bunch of names written down, and I feel like Mankind and Cactus Jack are similar, but what he's able to do with Mankind to make it different is insane.
I feel like with the Cactus Jack character, he's just locked in, and he's like a master of this realm, like this one realm. Like, I'm just going to be hardcoring it out. Like, that's it. Like, I'm not here to be fancy. I'm not here to look like the part. I'm not trying to look like the part. I don't want no friends. I'm just here to turn things upside down. That's
sure.
it.
While
we got to draw two at that.
We got so caught up in the Three Faces of Foley, and we're going to keep diving into this, that we forgot. You guys don't see the announcer table.
Right.
The location has changed. Shout out to one of my infamous guys, you know what I mean, that I met about, I want to say 8 or 9 years ago, Mr. Throwback. We on
Shouts to Mr.
East 9th
Throwback.
Street right now. This is vintage everything. If you're ever in New York City, if you live in New York City, this is a must place to come to. I'm talking vintage basketball, baseball, soccer, hockey, football, TV shows, movies, anything you could think that's classic, it's here. Sneakers, hats, action figures, you have to come in. And I'm a nostalgia type of guy. So shout out to Conceited. Conceited actually put me onto this store when we were on our quest. You know, I've relaxed, but I'm still a jersey collector. But when we were on our quest, you know what I mean, to prove we're one of the top jersey guys, this was a place we had to come to. We did the infamous Jersey Kings freestyle right here. You know what I mean? Shout out to Mr. Throwback for providing the jerseys, allowing us to do it here. So this is a place you guys have to come to. And while we're here, we have Mr. Throwback. You know what I mean? One thing about him, he kept it honest. He said, I don't know too much about wrestling. But one of our other guys, Tony, you know what I mean? He's a wrestling connoisseur. He's in the building with y'all. So I just didn't want people to keep staring like, who's the guy behind us watching?
Right.
I'm the referee.
I was just waiting for it.
So with that being said, let me ask you this first question, Tony, as we dive into the Three Faces of Mick Foley. Which one was your favorite out of all three?
So I was watching wrestling probably before all of you guys. I'm older than you
Definitely. For sure.
Like, I was a Cactus Jack guy in the beginning because I saw him in like Japanese wrestling tapes that I used to find at the video store. I saw him
When I used to kick Terry Funk's ass.
I I saw him fight Sting in WCW in probably like 1991, I believe.
Which was huge for him at the time.
Yeah.
That's the one.
And for
that
you
really
guys not
started
knowing,
giving
this
him
is not
recognition.
Sting, Crow Sting. This
This is
Sting.
Surfer Sting.
This is
Babyface
Sting that looked like
Sting.
Ultimate Warrior.
Well,
Yes,
they
yes.
they were tag team partners before that, but that's for another time.
Yeah.
The Blade Runners. But anyway, yeah, first time I kind of fell in love with Cactus Jack because he was just balls to the wall, didn't give a shit, would hit you with anything in front of you, pile drive you through a table, and that was kind of my first experience with like hardcore wrestling per se, because a lot of it was just that hillbilly WCW crap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that Cactus Jack was definitely number one, I guess I would say.
Okay. So, Cactus, since even though you were the last one to come to WWF, in your opinion, Warren, describe, well, who's your favorite character? It doesn't have to be the one that you're posing as, and just describe and give people the background that don't know the origin of Cactus Jack.
So I'll say this. So for me, Mankind is like it just feels like second nature. Like I could talk about Mankind, and I don't even have to revisit, his storyline. But I actually do favor Cactus Jack.
Okay.
And the reason why is because it's just his style. He like Tony said, he doesn't give a shit. He's just turned up to the max. And the thing with Cactus Jack, what I learned, right? So I learned that Mick Foley, he started out under the tutelage of Dominic DeNucci, right? He would go to school from Copeland upstate to Pittsburgh, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe he started developing the character Jack Foley, which eventually turned into Cactus Jack Manson, which eventually turned into Cactus Jack from the AWA, if I'm not mistaken, right? AWA, right? So, and that's where the start came from. And he went through all the promotions, and the Cactus Jack character is actually the one who has, to me, the most experience as far as just wrestling, like different styles. And so that's what I love about the character. And then the matches he had with Triple H were insane. Like as we talk about his debut and that pile driver, and how he just had his hand over, hit him with the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, I just always loved the style, man. He just was with it. Like you damn near had to kill him to win.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I can say I love about Cactus Jack is that I feel like Mankind was more of the risk taker for sure. Because Mankind was more of, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna try it. Cactus Jack was more so of, this is my room, like you said, this is my environment. Like that's how the persona came off. Mankind more so came off like, I've never done this before, but we're gonna give it a shot. I'm inflicting pain. And Cactus Jack was more so, welcome to my world. I'm gonna show you what this hardcore situation is about. That's where I feel like they differ.
So is it
As in
safe to say,
Cactus? Go
not
ahead.
to cut you, but this is great. So is it safe to say that the psychology behind watching Mankind versus the psychology behind watching Cactus Jack will have you more drawn to when Mankind does certain things because his character doesn't scream that as much as like a Cactus Jack? And
No.
the reason why I say that is because with that throw, right, when they had the Hell in Cell match, Mankind and Undertaker, not to vary it for a second, but I just want to ask you guys.
Yeah, you going too far right now.
I just wanted to, but
Because you're not even starting at the beginning.
no.
We on Cactus. Don't start switching
Wow.
to Man.
Okay,
you already in 98.
Okay.
Mankind came in 96.
So you want to do it in chronological order. Pardon me.
Nah,
so when we
man.
get there, I will ask a question because I think it's a very
please
dope
save
question.
the question.
I
But
will.
what I was gonna say is like, to me, it's a big deal between being experimental and crazy, and then knowing you're crazy. Mankind is more of a deranged. Like he's wondering why people don't like him, and he's different, and he doesn't understand why being Cactus Jack doesn't care. Cactus Jack is more so of like, this is my world. Welcome to it. I'm gonna show you can't survive here. Mankind is more upset at the world. Like I'm different, and people are not accepting me. Cactus Jack, if I may say, right? Because I feel like in different elements, right? And this is what I love about Mick Foley in itself is that you get three versions of a person. I feel like people will say, oh, well, that's weird, but it's not. Because in life, you're not just one version. You may be one person in this element and another here. So Cactus Jack is the more confident version of Mick Foley. Because when he's in his element this is here. Dude Love is the fun version. Now I'm having fun. Mankind is more so of the unsure, insecure, upset at the world. But that's what defines a human in general, because everybody has different versions of themselves. So
Agree. I
In
can't
my-
wait to ask you this question. I'm telling you.
in my opinion, for me being a kid, now I have to resurface it. This is why I came in with the shuffle because Dude Love was my favorite character. You know what I mean? And the reason why Dude Love was my favorite character, and this stems from emotional attachment as a child, because Stone Cold was my favorite wrestler. And Stone Cold said Mankind was too weird to team up with. Right? I'm not teaming up with Mankind. He's a weirdo. And then in 97, somehow Stone Cold has a surprise partner. And he's in the middle of the fight with British Bulldog and Owen Hart. And Dude Love pops up on the Titantron and says, I know Stone Cold, you said you wouldn't team up with Mankind because he's a little too weird for you, but you never said nothing about teaming up with Dude Love. And when that music hits, it's just so different. We're used to seeing this guy in a boiler room with a mask on. And as a child, right now, I go back and I appreciate it. But I was weirded out by Mankind and Undertaker.
Yeah,
absolutely.
As a kid, that felt like punishment.
It was easy to be.
Like, you know what I mean? Somebody's dying right now, okay? They got Paul Bear with an urn coming out. He has a mask on. He got this squeaky voice.
Yanking
Undertaker's
his hair out of his head.
yeah, he's ripping hair out of his hair. Undertaker's doing this all the time. Rest in peace. You know what I mean? This is before Kane comes about, which makes it even more weirder if you're a child watching it.
Oh, yeah.
So when I see Dude Love, I'm like, okay, as a kid, I can get with this. This guy's smooth. He's coming out. He's doing the shuffle. He got the ladies. He got the colorful shirt. This is it. And I like the character the most because at the time, I'm like, you know what I mean? I feel like this is a fun version of, and it kind of went with the Attitude Era, like fun. Like Dude Love was daring to be different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, most times you look at people to be skinny and in shape to be the guy with the chick magnet. And that was Dude Love. I'm a chick magnet, but he's heavy set. And that's kind of like when you grow older and you see people that, you know, everything doesn't have to be perfect for you to embody the character. And Dude Love came out, helped Stone Cold. They won the tag titles. And that was the first version of him. And then people really, they weren't jacking him like that. And then he came back as corporate Dude Love. When he was working with Vince, and then he had that war with Stone Cold or whatever.
That's right.
And just to go back to Cactus, because we haven't went to Mankind yet, that's when Cactus put on that performance with Terry Funk, and he felt like people weren't appreciating it. Mm-hmm. And Cactus Jack said, I'm leaving. And he vanished,
Right.
and then Dude Love came back. And what I was going to say about Cactus that's dope is I like how I'm not sure if it was Tony Russo or Jim Cornette, so if y'all watching this, don't get mad. Forgive me. I know you guys got your rivalry, and I don't want to give credit to the wrong person. But I like how they continued the story because Cactus Jack's first match was against Triple H. At the time, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And then I feel like when Cactus Jack came back in 2000 or 2001, his rivalry was still with Triple H. This time was for the
2000.
world title. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I like how the story continued. It took a break, and then it came back, and it's still now the new version of Triple H because he's not Hunter Hearst Helmsley no more. Now he's becoming the game, and he's going against Cactus Jack again.
And what was dope about that is he came back as how he came and debuted.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So,
Yes.
yeah, you know,
Yes.
my good brother here.
Yeah,
Mankind.
we haven't talked to the character that had the most screen time.
He brought
that
me
had
out.
the
He
most
brought me back.
that had the
Only
most
one of us to become a champion.
yeah that had the most
World champion.
world champion. The one that had we all got titles. You just had the world title, but
World champion hit a little different though.
but Z talk about Mankind coming into the WWF at the time, and you know what I mean, just the character being so different, and you know what I mean how that started. And what's your favorite version of Mick Foley?
Well, I was going to say, I think we're appropriately dressed because we've all kind of been answering corresponding to how we're dressed. But when Mankind first came into WWF, it was Mick Foley. He was feeling frustrated with the company. He had left WCW, and he was actually doing what he says is some of his really groundbreaking work where he was making a difference in Japan with Terry Funk. But they were putting on these extreme matches for not a huge audience, so they were giving these amazing performances for like 20 people, but they were able to grow the audience. And when he got to WWF, like we mentioned, he didn't even like the character. The original mask, it was made out of iron, but then they were like, okay, we can't do that to a human being. He was called the Mutilator. They didn't know what would happen. And I think this is getting into why Mankind is my favorite. I think Mankind as weird as it sounds, has a touch of relatability to him. He's kind of like mad at the world. He's kind of like at the things that everybody kind of gets mad about the world, and he takes it out in the ring with him. And when he debuted against Undertaker, that was a huge push for him, and he kind of took the role of one of the villains. And another reason why I like Mankind is because as his character changed, Mankind has a duality about him, where he can be hating the world and this vicious person in the ring beating him up, and at the same time be like a goofy, have a nice day character and like make kids smile and stuff. And that duality is kind of hard to come by. Mankind is definitely a revolutionary character that I don't know if it's been done quite the same since, but definitely was the first of its kind. First hardcore champion as well.
For sure. What I want to say is shout out to Mick Foley, you know what I mean, for all the pain that you endured in the ring, all the innovative things you've done in the ring.
I appreciate you for sure.
You know what I mean? And just daring to be different. Like, for me, Mankind was in the first ever Buried Alive match.
Facts.
Mankind was in the first ever Boiler Room match.
Facts.
Right.
Mankind
Great match.
was in the third ever Hell in a Cell match.
Fire.
But we can say the first from what happened.
Right.
The best one.
Yeah, the best one.
that people think
So watch this, right?
Most memorable.
Right.
When and the reason why I say Mankind is so important to the Attitude Era, not only for the moment we'll get to when he has that match with The Rock on Raw, which is never really at this time. Raw was never the place where titles turn. They usually did it for pay-per-views, but the Monday Night Wars was so intensive they had to do something, and Eric Bischoff thought he had one up on him by releasing the results of the match, because Raw WWF at the time was pre-recorded and Nitro WCW was live, and he thought by announcing it would take away from it, and it backfired and actually got the most viewership to tune in.
I remember that, man.
Ever.
So that's historical. But Mankind also serves as, if I can remember, now maybe this happened, Tony could tell you because I wasn't watching wrestling, but I think Mankind in that match with The Undertaker might have been the first person when it started that Paul Bear turned on The Undertaker. Am I wrong?
That's facts, yeah.
Yeah, so he even is a testament to that story, because before we can even get to Kane coming into the WWF and Paul Bear being with Undertaker's lost brother that he apparently set on fire, the first time we see a heel turn from Paul Bear is when he goes with Mankind with the urn.
Yeah.
So he's even a testament to that. And then, what was you going to say?
I was going to say he's probably a part of one of the top double turns as well, too.
Yeah.
With him and The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Also, that was Undertaker's first face turn, I believe, too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 There's a lot to uncover
Yeah.
there.
So I say that to say he comes out, he has his feud with The Undertaker. That's going over well. People are weirded out by the character, but still intrigued. Then suddenly he turns to Dude Love. Dude Love is rocking out now at this time. And then Cactus Jack comes about. And right now, this is all happening in 1997. So remember, he appears as Mankind in 96. In 97, he turns into 3 different people in 1 year.
Yeah.
At the top of 98, he makes history because all 3 of these faces into the Royal Rumble.
That was
Fire.
amazing.
I remember that is the Royal Rumble that Stone Cold won, that then sent Stone Cold to WrestleMania to fight Shawn Michaels with Mike Tyson being the enforcer. Yeah. But just to see all 3 of his characters in there, it made my day, because I'm like, yo, they're really living true to the character.
Mm-hmm.
And in that same year, good night, High Def. In that same year, Cactus Jack says, you know what I mean, you guys don't deserve me, you're not appreciating, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, was that the WrestleMania that him and Terry won the titles?
Yeah.
Yeah, they won the tag team hardcore titles, and then people weren't appreciating it, and then now, you know what I mean, we saved this for last because this highlights the Attitude Era. This is when we say the Attitude Era is the most dangerous era in wrestling entertainment, period. The Hell in a Cell match between Mankind and The Undertaker.
Insane.
I know you wanted the floor. Let's get it.
I wanted the floor to ask a question.
Yeah.
Right? So before we really touch base on it, because I had an interesting question. As you mentioned, you know, Mankind's insecurities with the world, and maybe that plays out into his wrestling style as well. Now, I want to ask you guys, would the effect be the same if the characters were different? And if not, why? Just curious. Like if it was Undertaker and Cactus Jack and he threw Cactus Jack off the top of the cell. Or even if he threw Dude Love off the top of the cell, would it hit the same as it did when Mankind was thrown off top?
It wouldn't hit the same with Dude Love, but
yeah, I think it might hit with Cactus,
because the Dude Love, his character was so fun. We wouldn't even want to see him in that type of match.
Right.
But I feel like it would hit with Cactus. Cactus was, you know what I mean? He was the hardcore champion. He was
I do
there.
remember that match though, watching it as like a big Mankind fan when they carted him off and then he came back without the Mankind mask. I was like, oh, that's a new level of Mankind right there. That's like when Goku goes Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
He took off the mask and he's still fighting as Mankind. That was
Right.
like another level.
Wasn't his tooth like up his fucking
Yeah,
nose?
yeah.
So
So-
up his nose.
Yeah, right?
But the only reason
That
I
was
asked-
insane.
The only
I
reason
don't think it would hit the same.
The only reason I asked that question is because, right, it wouldn't hit the same. Yeah. And this is when you was talking about what you was talking about. It was, and I was bringing up the psychology. It's because, you know, I feel like when viewers are watching a character like Cactus Jack, they feel like he has literally no limit. Not that he has any limits with the other characters, right? But it just feels as though like he's mastered pain. Like like him, you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like he
Yeah,
could have
I see
been
where
thrown
you're
off
going.
he could have been thrown off that cell.
And
of course,
laugh.
people would have been like, "Oh my gosh!" But he would have laughed it off. He would have still got off the thing, and it would have been like whatever. Like, of course, we would have praised him for the effort, the physical capabilities that he showcased, but still would have been like, "Okay, we know."
Yeah.
You know.
You know, and in that match, I'm sure Tony, correct me if I'm wrong. The top of the cell breaking was not.
That was an
planned.
accident. Yeah.
That was
Right.
an accident.
But let's go to the beginning. So the beginning of the match, right? And this is what I love about Mick Foley, because he's doing shit that like I'm watching this as a kid, and now when I'm watching it as an adult, I'm like, this nigga's out of his mind. I mean, shout out to you, Mick Foley. But where your mind goes, this is why you're special, and you know what I mean. We have to protect you at all costs because because this is solely one of the reasons to propel the Attitude Era in WWF for
Literally.
winning. He's with Terry Funk, and you know what I mean. Terry Funk's favorite character was Cactus Jack, so he always calls him Cactus. He asked him, "What do you think about the Shawn Michaels and Undertaker Hell in a Cell match?" And Terry tells him like, "It was a great match. Like I ain't gonna lie, Cactus. This might be the first time that I don't think you can top this match." And they're driving, and then as they're driving, Terry says, "Unless you start the match at the top of the cage." The match doesn't start in the ring this time. The match starts at the top. And I remember watching this. Now I'm 7 because I'm 6 in 97. I'm 7 in 98. And when Mankind's climbing up to the cell, first of all, I'm like, why is this out of shape guy? You know what I mean? I can't articulate it the way I am now, but that's what's going on in my mind. Why would he be climbing to the top? He climbs to the top of the cell. They start going back and forth with each other. Mankind's getting the best of him. And then somehow the Undertaker takes over. And once he takes over, Mankind flies 14 feet off the cell. And then
Crazy.
Mankind, and in Mick Foley's mind, he says, by me just falling off the cell, the match is already back. You call him Mick Foley? He's there?
No, he wanted me to let y'all know he's really enjoying this.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Good comeback. Because I was about to say,
Have a good
and
day.
Mick Foley's not calling you. Have a nice day.
Nice
Good night.
So as he's throwing him off the 14-foot cell, and Mick Foley's mind is like, well, if this match doesn't continue at this point, well, this is better than Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, and it is.
Fact.
He goes straight through, like, and at this time, as much as when I'm watching at home, I'm thinking it's rehearsed as a 7-year-old. Like, oh, wrestling is fake. That's what everybody says, not knowing that Vince McMahon and all these people, they have no idea what they're doing. This can go terribly wrong.
Right.
And I mean, rest in peace. It did eventually, but at this time, we don't know. Mick Foley can die at this moment. Vince McMahon comes out concerned. Terry Funk winds up breaking kayfabe because at this time, him and Cactus have a rivalry, and he comes out because that's his close friend, and he's concerned with him. And Mick Foley says he bruised his kidney and dislocated his shoulder.
Yeah.
Crazy.
They put him on.
Surprisingly not as harmed as someone who would went through that should
No,
be,
but
like-
watch this. This is how crazy it is. So they put him on the stretcher. That's not part of the plan. He's really on this stretcher. It's over. I've watched documentaries that say at this time, I don't know if this was at the time that he was on the stretcher or what I'm about to get into next, but at some point in time, Vince McMahon tells Triple H, you may have to come out and finish this match because he can't do it.
Right,
So
right.
Triple H has to come out. He's on the stretcher on his way back, and he gets up out the stretcher, and as I'm watching as a kid, I'm like, okay, this is great how they cut this, but I don't know if everybody else knew what he's about to do, and he says, let me back in. He breaks out of all the referees, all the people attending to him with a dislocated shoulder, a bruised kidney.
Yeah, his arm was like fucking.
His arm, he couldn't even move
Right.
it. As you see
Couldn't
him
even move
walking,
nuts.
he's moving like a 70-year-old man in his 30s at the time.
Right.
He climbs back to the top of the cell,
Insane.
and Undertaker, to stay in character, if you're white, you're insane just as well, because this man is really hurt, and you have no remorse.
And he, like, creepily
yeah,
hung
you're
down from the
you're embodying rest in peace because you're not gonna stop.
Yeah.
He's out of it. He gets back on the
trying
cage.
to pick him up while the referees are looking at him.
Yeah, they get back on the cage. They start fighting again, and it wasn't planned because this cell, the same way a few months ago when Shawn Michaels and Undertaker are fighting, Undertaker chokeslams Shawn Michaels and he just drops on the cell. Nothing breaks. This time, when he chokeslams Mick Foley, he drops and the cage breaks and he falls straight on his back. But the crazy part about it is he falls with the chair.
I was just about to say
Yeah.
in the chair.
So
falls on
as
top
he's
of his head.
falling, the chair hits him as he falls and knocks him out. It's literally the chair that knocks him out. The impact of the ring damages his back. The chair knocks him out, and now he's unconscious.
if I'm not mistaken, that's when the tooth got missing.
Yep.
No?
Yes,
Yeah.
and this is not planned. So now Mick Foley is unconscious in the ring, and Jerry Lawler, if you're watching this, you're insane because he says, oh, that's it, he's dead. And I'm watching it as a kid like this has to be scripted, but now knowing that it wasn't, it's like everybody's a risk taker.
Right.
Even for you to say he's dead, and he might be, and you're just, going with the script, and he's laying there unconscious. And his tooth, you know what I mean? Another reason why now I can understand why people compare me to Mick Foley. He lost his tooth. I lost
Wow.
mine.
Wow.
So this is crazy. Mine didn't go up my nose, though.
Dude, the
So-
shot
so-
of that shit is the best though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
they get close to him and it's just like.
Yeah, so we
like,
differ.
what?
But now as he's unconscious, Terry Funk comes back. Terry Funk, you're a great friend, by the
Yeah,
way. You- super great friend. He comes back, and he's buying time. So now he tries to help Mick Foley, Mankind, going against The Undertaker. The Undertaker chokeslams him. And as we're fans watching, we just think, okay, this part is the script. But what's really going on is they're trying to buy time to see if Mankind is going to wake up,
If he's alive
Right.
or
if
not.
he's alive. And then this crazy person named Mick Foley said, he wakes up and continues the match.
Yeah.
Insane.
That was
He
nuts.
completes the match. It's incredible.
And it gets worse. Now it's the point where they're in the corner, Undertaker's punching him, and that's when we see the tooth up his nose, blood all in his mouth,
Smiling at that.
and he's smiling.
Smiling. Yeah.
That was Cactus Jack coming out.
That's what I'm saying.
That was Cactus
Yeah.
Jack coming out.
That might have been.
He's smiling, and then he has this dangerous idea that he should throw thumbtacks in the ring.
At that point, why not?
Yeah, and,
Right,
and then,
right,
and
right.
then-
At that point.
and then out his own mouth, we hear that he says, they told him, okay, we can find something that's like it. And he says, oh, no, it's not going to hit unless it's the real thing. So he chose real thumbtacks.
He chose violence.
And the reason why I say we have to give him his flowers because everyone else that's part of the Attitude Era, they want to win the war, but they don't want to win it like Mick
They're
Foley.
not doing that.
Undertaker, Stone Cold, The Rock, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, they're not willing to do all of these things that he's
Foley
doing.
is
But-
willing to
but-
die
but-
for
but
that.
what's-
And this is just one match.
But what's beautiful about the impact that Mick Foley, Mankind, Do Love, Cactus Jack, just the whole everything had when he was Mankind, even Cactus Jack, even sometimes Do Love, but really those two characters, he were able to get those guys like The Rock, like Shawn Michaels, like Stone Cold to at least get into that bag with him. So that's a powerful testament to his whole
Super. And then they
creativity.
go at it. He somehow continues the fight, gets Undertaker in the mandible claw, backfires. He winds up going through the thumbtacks a few times, and then Undertaker seals it off with a tombstone and wins the match. And you hear Jim Ross say, what they've endured tonight is crazy. And at the time, I'm just like, okay, this is a nice storyline. They played this out well. But now watching it, it's like
Insane.
And that was the match
That's one of the greatest matches ever.
that
sure.
coined the phrase "Foley is God."
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me say this as a little wrap on why Foley isn't one of my personal favorites, because I think we could talk about him forever, and then we'll get into some of our favorite segments of the show. But Foley, you know, he's called like a Michael Cole. On my Michael Cole, I see you, Mankind Cole. Foley, they call him a hardcore legend. I think even legend is kind of I think he's a hardcore icon. He kind of created his own new style for someone who looks like him to stand out in a time when there wasn't really anyone who looks like him. He revolutionized it and also kind of balanced the line of like going far but not going so far that WWE couldn't show it, and going far enough that it was hardcore. Had some of the greatest matches ever. Even after that, he came back twice. Randy Orton and Edge at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Had some amazing last matches as Mick Foley. So
What about the sock versus the Cobra?
Oh, the sock wins. Of course. They actually
Sure.
did that. You remember?
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
have a question to ask you guys. So, you know, we had an episode, right? If I'm not mistaken, right? Dang, you know what? I don't even know if we could talk about it right now. Actually, no, we can.
No, we could,
We
yeah.
can. Okay.
This is out already.
All right,
I mean,
so-
we pre-record. It's out by now.
Yeah. So you know,
Nah.
so we had Stone Cold, right, and The Rock, right? And I want to ask y'all, Dude Love and Stone Cold versus The Rock and Sock Connection. Who
Rock and
wins?
Sock Connection.
Come on,
And
man.
and Sock
Who's a
Connection,
better
yeah.
team?
Rock
Who
and
wins
Sock
and why?
Connection.
The Rock
Dude,
and
Love
Sock
Rock don't even have a
Connection.
name.
The Rock and Sock Connection is
I mean,
way
they were
better.
champions though, so we got to throw them in.
Yeah, but the Rock
Both
and Sock
teams.
Connection actually had chemistry.
I was gonna say this.
And I mean,
Okay.
there's footage of The Rock and Mankind playing No Mercy. Now, I mean, playing video
And
games.
let's
So,
not forget, they were in a legendary rivalry that kind of led up to those insane matches and being a tag team.
what about the empty arena match? Or
Crazy.
the I Quit match,
I quit match.
where The
Quit
Rock
was
took
fire.
a voice recording from earlier.
Wasn't that
Right.
during the Super
Yo,
Bowl?
I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
you something.
Yeah, right.
The
Yeah.
only
Halftime
That's
heat.
Crazy.
The only
yeah.
thing
Halftime
I
heat.
remember about that I Quit match, I'm gonna keep it so real with y'all, is all of them chair shots that he
hell yeah,
was.
dude.
Yo, let me tell you something. Mick Foley, God bless you. God bless you.
The
King.
most
Thank you.
unprotected chair
Wow.
shots in history.
Yo, he's
Yeah.
the reason why they can't do that like that no more.
Dude, and they
For
would
real,
go
for real.
like Jose Canseco on
Yo,
him with those
and The
fucking
Rock-
chairs, bro. That shit was crazy.
And I
bro.
think The Rock, he may not want to admit this. I love you, but he may not want to admit this, but probably had a little too much fun in that match, man. You know what I'm saying?
That was corporate rock.
That was
That's when he
corporate rock.
that's when he was
But
Had to
evil.
be a
Yeah.
super heel.
All them, it was like 10, 16 chair shots,
Yeah.
12, something like that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Something like that will never happen again in today's product, but
Never.
You'll
With
never see.
CT
And there's a
all
lot
that,
of things
no
Mick
way.
Foley does that you'll probably never see.
So
again.
which face are we going with is the best to conclude this?
There's only
mean,
one that could be the best.
Mankind had the longest run.
The first hardcore
Cactus
champion.
Jack.
He had the longest tenure.
Yeah, Cactus Jack had the longest tenure, but in WWF, Mankind had the longest run.
But you asked him which face is the best.
And
right?
Dude Love had the shortest.
I'm
Right.
gonna be honest. I think the best face,
Even though he's the
and he
longest
hasn't.
around. Chilling.
Huh?
Even though he's the longest one around.
What you mean?
Dude,
Technically from the
technically.
From the home tapes. When I'm saying
technically.
on screen, he had the least
But
amount of
I'll be
time.
honest. The best face,
Dude
in
Love
my
is lazy.
opinion, and he has wrestled not many matches, but Mick Foley, the man behind all of them. When he comes out in that,
I
red
see
and
what you're
black,
doing there.
Flannel. That was a nice Michael
I see
Cole
what you're doing.
transition moment. Don't
Yeah.
lie. But yeah, Mick Foley. He doesn't wrestle a lot of names under that match, but every time he does, it's a hit.
I'm gonna go with Mankind, and really because Mankind just got the more like memorable moments. I feel like there are people that maybe have not been tapped in with wrestling as much as we are, whatever, but they could tell you something about Mankind.
Yeah. All right, so most memorable moment for me, I got it in 3 categories. Most memorable moments, Mankind. The best one I like to see wrestle, Cactus Jack. The best character, Dude Love. That's
I could agree
I
with
like
that.
it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
that's
going.
solid.
Yeah. That's solid. Let me ask y'all this. So greatest rivalry from the faces of Mick Foley. What
I
would
think
y'all say?
Cactus Jack versus Vader is kind of hard to beat.
Mm.
And also, like, that's something that they themselves wanted to keep going and kind of, like, management kind of stopped it and stomped it down. But that Vader was undefeatable, and like Cactus Jack was really the one person who even made sense to look like he was beating up on Vader. So Cactus Jack versus Vader, I think, is probably one of the best rivalries.
I'm going to go with a hot take here. When he fought Edge and they lit the table on fire and he burnt his balls. That's what I'm going to say.
I like that one. I like that one. That
rivalry.
was underrated.
And I feel like he boosted Edge to be more and more evil as
sure.
that whole thing went on, and that kind of made Edge who he was.
Randy Orton wasn't the legend killer until that.
I was just
Foley,
about to
that's
say
true,
that was
yeah.
gonna be my that was gonna be my answer. You know, really because you know what it is. What I loved about it was that Randy Orton is one of my favorite wrestlers. Mick Foley's one of my favorite wrestlers. And the thing that I love about Mick Foley, not too many wrestlers have the ability to get another wrestler over.
Yeah.
And he's probably one of the greatest wrestlers to get other wrestlers over.
He puts on.
And also, he's probably one of the greatest sellers too.
Yeah. 100%. Well, as Mankind especially, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
of course. Cactus Jack, I like this feud with Terry Funk the most.
Legendary.
Second place would be Triple H.
I was just about to say, yeah.
Mankind, hands down, the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Fact.
And then it would be The Rock. And Dude Love, he really only had one rivalry with Stone Cold. And I enjoyed that because Stone Cold was, my favorite wrestler at the time. He was also like the special guest referee at one point in a match with Stone Cold. But yeah. With that being said, are we going to get into your favorite segment?
My favorite or your favorite? Which one you want to get into?
Well, let's do it in chronological order. Let's go into my favorite.
Okay.
In y'all opinion, right, because I'm the only battle rapper in attendance today. We'll start with Z. What battle rapper do you feel mirrors the career of Mick Foley in battle rap?
I know Warren's answer, so I'm not going to say Warren's answer. But honestly, there's someone who reminds me, someone who's always outside, who's always trying to do like what could be considered top rope moves or some flashy stuff. I would have to say Mick Foley might be Danny Myers. Danny Myers would be a hardcore wrestler and a hardcore icon if you transferred it over.
Have we seen a Dude Love version of Danny Myers yet, though?
I don't know if we've seen
in a parallel universe.
Yeah,
we gotta go over there and find out.
We gotta find out.
Yeah, right. Maybe
I haven't seen it. I've seen a version of Mankind from Danny.
For sure.
And I've seen a version of Cactus.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I've seen a version of Mick Foley, but I haven't seen a version of Dude Love.
Yeah.
It's on the way.
Okay. Danny, get to it. In your opinion?
You know, I've been waiting for this. I mean, listen, man. Mick Foley, you know, even though he's one of the greatest ever, I feel like I don't hear his name too often, you know, in the conversation. And he's, again, we talked about all his accolades, being a part of many firsts, having many great rivalries. We talk about somebody who's able to master many different personalities, also be, you know, just innovative with his whole style, period. And just really kind of carry that not give a F attitude. Only person I could think of is you, my brother. You know, and I know,
not a bad answer at all.
And listen, I know. Some people in the comments may be like, "Oh, you bugging?" You know, "Oh, nah, I thought we said."
No, don't say that. Don't say that. This is not the other episode. They're not going to challenge that. Relax.
They're not going to challenge that.
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
that's your new thing that you just running with now.
No, because
that only get ahead of the comments.
I didn't try to get ahead of the comments. I don't do that.
That only applies for some people.
Don't do that.
You don't do that.
Don't do that.
Flex is here. He's not Cactus no more.
In this mind of mine, all these sick thoughts. Nah, but really though, brother. I just feel like you don't get your just due, man. And I'm your brother. I've been around for so long. I've seen you do many great things. I've seen you be a big innovator in this culture. You know, we talking about one of the most memorable moments in. Oh, you thought Smack was going? Oh, Smack, you thought I was gonna lose? Get him out here, get Smack out of here, Pardon me for chopping it up. And how you shook the room, and just how you have the ability to create that kind of pop. You know, and I feel like you're somebody that you're just going to keep reinventing yourself. You're going to just keep innovating the game. Even we talking about the stuff you've done outside of some of the platforms that you're known for, and how you just transcended the battle rap community and culture. So yeah, my brother, like I would say that's you.
Okay, so I got this question, right? I'm not, because I can't think of somebody off top, so I'm not going to just make them up for show purposes. So I'm going to ask y'all this. If we do go with the analogy that I'm Mick Foley, what version is what? Let me start with Z. You know what I mean?
I'll say what you did there.
Pose that question to you.
I like that. Damn.
I think I should go first because you
go first.
Y'all know I love to tell y'all, disclaimer, my battle rap IQ is not great, but I'm here anyway. So we got PG Killer. I bet. Okay. So I'm gonna say the PG Killer is like Cactus.
For sure.
And I feel like just because when you doing the PG Killer run, like I feel like you just knew, like you, not that you never knew, but you're just like, yo, it's me. Like I don't give a.
Yeah.
I'm running. Y'all know y'all can't see what's up, so y'all are just plates to me. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna have fun with this, and I'm gonna win. So I'll say PG Killer's Cactus. I would say the champ definitely do love.
Yeah,
sure.
Yep.
When just again being your brother and seeing you go through these changes is very entertaining. So I remember you being the champ and you taking all these nice pictures, popping out with the champagne with the champ. You getting into your persona, and anybody that knows DNA on a personal level, he's very, very serious. He has his funny moments when he rocks with you. But you're very professional, you know what I'm saying? The way you carry yourself. So that do love is that part of you, actually you sharing that to the world. Like I can be funny, I can get busy and still be calculated too. And then so we got PG Killer, we got the champ. So I would say y'all don't deserve me, if that's even a form of you.
It is.
But I feel like that's mankind. You know what I'm saying? Where you're kind of
what version though?
I think
what version? No, I'm gonna get to that. I feel like it's the version that the boiler room. You know what I'm saying? Nah.
I think that's like grind time, King of the Dot DNA. I think it's like mankind.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah?
Because I was gonna say DNA where he at right now is Mick Foley.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Right
DNA
now.
right now.
I was gonna be funny and say he's on his commissioner stuff. Yeah.
I was really gonna say Eric St. John. You know what I'm saying? It's Mick Foley.
Yeah, no. I'm cool with Eric St. John. In my opinion, I agree with the PG Killer analogy. If I'm gonna be Mick Foley, I agree with the champ is Dude Love. I think that You Don't Deserve Me DNA is the version of Mick Foley with the sock. That's
with the
to
sock?
Have a Nice Day.
Okay.
And Boiler Room Mick Foley, like Buried Alive Mick Foley, Hell in the Cell Mick Foley, that's like Small Room DNA.
Small room DNA. Okay, got you.
I mean,
Yeah,
but
I
like me personally, I mirror the Undertaker shit too, because I feel like, you know what I mean, like the Undertaker, old Western Undertaker is like grind time DNA.
Oh, okay.
And then
You say old Western.
nah, that's the old Western Undertaker.
Yeah.
And then you know what I mean, American Badass is the champ. You know what I mean? Big Evil is the You Don't Deserve Me version.
Right.
I feel like the PG Killer is the Ministry Undertaker.
I like that.
And then
gotta get rid of him for business.
And then you know what I mean, the later years when he's just classic Undertaker, that's just regular DNA. I mean, he's deadly. So I could go with either one, but let's get to your favorite segment.
Let's get to my
skip over
favorite segment. The segment I love just as
Def
much
and
as
Mr.
the
Throwback,
rest of it.
they're having a blast back there with vintage stuff. High Def is having a ball.
Shout out to High Def. You know
Shout
what I'm
out
saying?
to Mr. Throwback.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. Throwback.
But so this is my favorite part of the show. It's called the Kick Out. But today we're doing things a little bit differently. We're gonna do a Kick Out trivia edition, and we're gonna test the wrestling knowledge of our friend Tony back here. Cause look, he said,
Yeah,
come on,
he said- He got to bring it.
all right.
Let's
So
get it.
Warren is gonna hit the bell, and then we'll start. All right. The Kick
Bang
Out.
bang.
Bang, bang. The kick out is going to start. Oh, well, let me explain the rules. You've got 3 seconds to answer each of these questions. If you can answer, we're going to give you a point. If you cannot answer, we're going to take away a point. So you could end in the negative. Who knows?
We'll
so
see.
the kick out is going to start in 3, 2, 1. First question. What event was the debut of Kane?
Fuck. Judgment
Ding,
Day?
ding, ding.
Judgment Day?
Wrong. Second question. Who was the fourth member of NWO?
6.
No, wrong. I think he was the sixth member, which is why it was 6.
yeah.
It was a giant.
That's right.
Wrong.
Who pulled a gun on Steve Austin?
Brian Pillman.
Correct. Which wrestler did Steve Austin refuse to wrestle, notoriously walking out of Monday
Brock
Night Raw?
Lesnar.
Correct. What stable did Vince McMahon create to maintain power?
The corporation.
Correct. At what event was the notorious Mankind Undertaker Hell in a Cell match?
1,
Oh, shit.
3,
Ding, ding, ding.
King of the Ring.
That's right. Who was the first European champion?
1.
British Bulldog.
Correct. Which wrestler did The Rock replace as the leader of the Nation of Domination?
Farouk.
Correct. Who was the first wrestler to win the revived Women's Championship?
1,
Oh, shit.
2, 3.
China.
Ding, ding, ding. Jacqueline.
Oh, yeah.
Which wrestler was presented as a former adult TV star?
1.
Oh, Sable.
Oh,
no.
That might be true, too. I'm not sure. But the one,
Candice Michelle. No.
Val Venus.
Oh.
Hello, lady.
Yeah, my bad. All
What?
right.
Hello, lady. What UFC star was the special referee for Steve Austin versus Bret Hart at
Ken
WrestleMania 30?
Shamrock.
Correct. Who was Stone Cold's partner during his first tag team championship reign?
1, 2, 3.
Shawn
Ding, ding,
Michaels.
Shawn
I
Michaels.
thought so, damn.
Who was the first hardcore
Available.
champion?
Mick Foley. Well, Mankind.
Alex, yeah. What wrestler choked out Kurt Angle to end his undefeated streak?
1,
Oh, fuck.
3.
No,
Oh, yeah.
Good shit.
Warren's
That was good.
available.
That was
He's
good
available.
shit. That was good shit.
I like this one. Who was the first wrestler to cross over from WCW to attack WWF in the invasion?
Oh, wow. This is
1.
He's dead. Mike Glossy.
Nope. Lance Storm.
Oh, shit.
He pushed someone off a turnbuckle. I can't
That's
remember
right.
who it was. Who debuted during the only pay-per-view match between Vince McMahon and Steve Austin?
1, 2, 3.
The Big Show. Who was the
Oh, he came out the ring.
That's right. Yeah,
Correct.
and
Yeah, and he caught Stone Cold the belt. Yep.
Who was the first man to hold the European and Intercontinental Championships?
Shawn Michaels.
D'Lo Brown. At
Oh,
what
that's right. Yeah.
At what event did the Undertaker re-debut as the American Badass?
I know this.
SummerSlam. No.
Back-
3.
Backlash.
Backlash.
Nope.
Good.
Judgment Day 2000.
Wow.
Who ran Stone Cold over with a car at Survivor Series 1999?
Rikishi?
Rikishi.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which wrestler did Vince McMahon defeat to become the WWF champion?
1.
Stone Cold. No.
Triple H.
Triple H.
Which wrestler allegedly got Mae Young pregnant in 2000?
Mark Henry.
Correct. And the last question, who was the guest referee during Shane McMahon versus Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 17?
1, 2, 3.
Stone Cold.
Mick Foley. You see how I did that there? All right,
Fire,
not
fire,
bad. It was.
fire.
I made it some tough trivia, but not
Yeah,
bad.
he
We
got.
gotta
I
calculate the
think
score.
he definitely went past half.
Maybe
Yeah.
if
The
Maybe
dates,
if
the one
Tony-
with like the events.
maybe
It's
if
all mishmash.
maybe
in
if
my
you
brain.
had your mind focused on the facts of the destruction that was going on at that time, maybe you would have won.
Stop acting crazy.
Bang bang.
Have a nice day.
Listen, this concludes another episode of the Attitude Era podcast. Want to give a big shout out to HDMI Productions. That's the reason why we in 4K and 6K. Shout out to my guy High Def. Hit him on Instagram. Get your videos, your blogs, your
Sponsors.
podcasts, everything y'all want to be shot. Shout out to Chalkline. They get us the official gear when we wear it. We may not have it on now, but we got it on damn near every episode. Shout out to them. Get all your WWE official merch from them. Shout out to the Wrestling Universe in Comnac, Long Island, Long Beach, Long Island, and also in Flushing, New York, in Queens. Shout out to my guy Ryan over there. Shout out to Mr. Throwback. We are here now, East 9th Street in Manhattan, New York. Come get vintage everything. Shout out to my guy Flip a Bag, flipabag.oe.com. And before we go away, make sure you guys sign up to the Patreon so you can get the bonus episodes, the early episodes, behind the scenes, freestyles, all extra content is only if you sign up for the Patreon. Mankind, you want to go to your list so we can shout out the Patreon people? Because you was about to forget, Mankind.
No, I wasn't.
You definitely was. You were slacking,
I know
Mankind.
them. We got to give a special shout out to all our patrons. First one is our boy Hardcore Flavor.
Shout out to Hardcore Flavor.
Let's give a shout out to our boy Malcolm Lang.
My boy Malcolm Lang tapped in.
DeAndre Williams.
DeAndre Williams, we see you.
Jeremiah Hamilton.
Jeremiah Hamilton, what up?
Dapo.
And Dapo. Shout out to all the Patreons. If you sign up for the Patreon, you also get shouted out on an episode of Attitude Era. So don't miss out. Cactus Jack is available.
Super.
Mankind is available.
We're still talking?
And the dude that got the groove is available. Attitude Era Podcast, y'all. He's wildin'. Good night. Good night. Good night.